Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. In our Bible study today we are going to talk about a man named Elijah who was a prophet of God. In this story we see that Elijah challenges the people to trust in the one true God, and God shows his great power in a really awesome way. So sit back, relax, and listen to the story of Elijah on Mount Carmel. Because he never stopped loving his people, God sent prophets to the kings of Israel and Judah. These prophets were God's messengers, pointing out the people's sin, but also telling them that if they changed their ways, God would forgive them. The prophets gave the people hope when bad things happened, and God used them to continually call his people back to him. One of these prophets was named Elijah. During Elijah's time, the evil King Ahab and Queen Jezebel reigned in Israel. They had led Israel to worship false gods called Baal and Asherah. In response to this sin, Elijah the prophet told King Ahab that God would judge him.
I'm a servant of the living Lord, the God of Israel, and I swear in his name that it won't rain until I say so. There won't be even any dew on the ground.
Elijah's prophecy came true, and for 3 years no rain fell, and there was almost nothing to eat anywhere. Then the Lord said to Elijah,
Go and meet with King Ahab. I will soon make it rain.
So Elijah went to see Ahab. He knew that Ahab wanted to kill him, but he also knew that God would protect him. When Ahab saw Elijah, he blamed the prophet for the drought and famine.
There you are, the biggest troublemaker in Israel. You're the troublemaker, not me. You and your family have disobeyed the Lord's commands by worshiping Baal. Call together everyone from Israel and have them meet me on Mount Carmel. Be sure to bring all along the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah who eat at Jezebel's table.
Ahab got everyone together. Then they went to meet Elijah on Mount Carmel.
How much longer will you try to have things both ways? If the Lord is God, worship him. But if Baal is God, worship him.
But the people said nothing.
I am the Lord's only prophet, but Baal has 450 prophets. Bring us 2 bulls. Baal's prophets can take one of them, kill it, and cut it into pieces. Then they can put the meat on the wood without lighting the fire. I will do the same thing with the other bull, and I won't light a fire under it. The prophets of Baal will pray to their God, and I will pray to the Lord. The one who answers by starting the fire is God.
That's a good idea.
Of course Baal will light the fire.
I wonder what will happen to Elijah.
Prophets of Baal, there are more of you, so you go first. Pick out a bull and get it ready, but don't light the fire. Then pray to your God.
They chose their bull, then they got it ready, and prayed to Baal all morning, dancing and shouting, asking him to start the fire. But there was no answer.
Pray louder. Baal must be a god. Maybe he's daydreaming or busy or traveling somewhere. Or maybe he's asleep and you have to wake him up.
Baal, answer us.
The prophets kept shouting louder and louder, and they cut themselves with swords and knives until they were bleeding. This was the way they worshipped, and they kept it up all afternoon, but there was no answer of any kind. Finally, Elijah told everyone to gather around him while he repaired the Lord's altar. Then he used 12 stones to build an altar in honor of the Lord. Each stone stood for one of the tribes of Israel, which was the name the Lord had given to their ancestor Jacob. Elijah dug a ditch around the altar, large enough to hold about 13 quarts. He placed the wood on the altar, then they cut the bull into pieces and laid the meat on the wood.
Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it over the meat and the wood. Do it again. Do it a 3rd time.
They did exactly as he said until finally the water ran down the altar and filled the ditch. Then, when it was time for the evening sacrifice, Elijah prayed,
O Lord, you are the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Now prove that you are the God of this nation, and that I, your servant, have done this at your command. Please answer me, so these people will know that you are the Lord God, and that you will turn their hearts back to you.
The Lord immediately sent fire, and it burned up the sacrifice, the wood, and the stones. It scorched the ground everywhere around the altar and dried up every drop of water in the ditch. The Lord is God!
The Lord is God! Grab the prophets of Baal. Don't let any of them get away.
So the people captured the prophets and took them away. A short time later, the sky grew black with clouds. The wind rose, and for the first time in 3 years, a heavy rain began to fall. God had not only defeated the prophets of Baal and proved his power, but he had fulfilled his promise to send rain on the land. If you would like to read more about Elijah the prophet, check out the Old Testament books of 1st and 2nd Kings. I hope you enjoyed this Bible story of Elijah on Mount Carmel. Now take some time with your family to talk about how God is the one true God, and discuss some ways you can worship him right where you are. I hope you will join me next week for another family Bible story. Bye!